Welcome to Money News. I'm Kathleen Walter. With us now from New York is the managing director of Charles Nenner Research, Mr. David Gurwitz. And David, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Kathleen. I appreciate it.
Well, regarding the statement from Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke that quantitative easing might be slowed, last week we saw stock market indices fall by 2% as a result. What impact do you see this having both long-term and short-term on the stock and bond markets?
Well, you realize we don't believe that the news affects things. We believe the cycles indicate how people are going to react to the news. And since we feel there's a mix of cycles now, short-term and long-term in equities, you're going to have a back and forth right now. Long-term, we've been predicting for years that the bonds are going to go down for decades, just like they've been up for 3 decades. So we just believe that the news simply reflects where cycles tell them they're going to go.
Okay, so when the Fed does indeed start to taper its bond buying, do you see any broader effects on the economy or no?
No, we think that it's all set in motion already. We think that the bonds are going to be a great place to short. TBT is going to be a really good trade, just like TLT has been good. Short term, there's a bounce now, actually, in bond prices, we think, but longer term, bonds are down because interest rates will be going up. And on the stock market, we believe is down for many, many years. So it's going to be an interesting situation that both stocks and bonds we think are going to be down.
Do you have any predictions to offer regarding currency movements in the long or short term?
Yes, our system covers pretty much all data series, stocks, bonds, commodities, currencies, economic indicators. We always welcome people listening to or watching to go to charlesnenner.com and sample the research. So for currencies, we believe that the Aussie, we're looking for a bottom in the Aussie. We're looking actually now, the euro, Charles wrote this morning, Charles Nenner, the founder and the genius behind the system, wrote that he believes the euro is going to be stronger than other currencies right now. Starting next year, the dollar will actually have a lot of problems.
And where do you see the dollar going next year?
Levels I'm not going to give right now because we like to see when it gets there and it starts to move, we can give a target.
All right, what about unemployment? Can you tell us where the unemployment rate will be by the end of this year, and just how relevant is that as a valid metric regarding the health of the economy, considering the number of Americans who are no longer looking for work?
Right, thank you. Our system covers unemployment and economic indicators as well. We have not updated that recently, and what I welcome the readers to do, and listeners and yourself, is that we'll do that this weekend and send it out to those who request it. In the past, it's been accurately predicted by the system, tops and bottoms and unemployment rates as well.
Can the American consumer ever expect conditions that will allow incomes to begin keeping pace with the actual increase in the price of goods and services they consume?
Well, let me talk about copper as an indicator of everything to maybe answer your question. Copper, 8-9 months ago, we said was topping and heading down. We have a lot of clients that are rather big in terms of being called sovereign wealth funds, and they're not looking for trades in a week, they're looking for trades for years. They asked us about copper, and copper came down quite a bit, and we still think it's down for years. Therefore, it's not good for the economy. So we think that's an indicator that's going to maybe answer your question. It's going to be very difficult for people on a lot of levels to keep up.
Let's move abroad, David. What's the long-term trend for growth in China? What factors will drive the Chinese economy for the remainder of the year and beyond?
That's a very good question. China is something that is in the news quite a bit. And again, our system indicates that long-term it's going to be weak, but shorter term there may be a bounce. And therefore, again, it's something that we don't cover on a regular basis. But we would be happy to do it for your viewers.
And last question for you. What must the weaker economies in Europe do to promote economic growth, and does the euro survive?
I wish I had a good answer for that. I wish they had a good answer for that. It's interesting. People look at one view saying, what can they do to fix things? And the way we do with our system is based on cycles from repeating patterns in the past. And the cycles seem to indicate where the euro, countries are trying to devalue their currencies, which is difficult in the Eurozone in order to boost their economy. And we're not so sure they're going to be able to do that. And one of the things that's important for people is to protect loss as opposed to looking for gain.
All right, David Gurwitz, Managing Director of Charles Nenner Research. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching Money News.